Hi friends, welcome back to Playing Tribute to Ace Attorney Investigations, where we are on the last case, Turnabout Ablaze, and it looks like we have reached the end of the case, however many parts that means. Which makes sense, because we solved a big chunk of things, but we still don't know who the killers? I don't know what's going on, because there are two bodies, so, what's going on there. But we know that Sheena, or you, or whatever you want to call her, started the fire to burn the money. The fake money. And then... But she's claimed that she has not killed anyone. Well, let me rephrase that, because she has killed people. She's claimed that she has not killed the secretary or the mask-to-mask guy. I don't actually think that the mask-to-mask guy was ever a question of whether she killed him or not, because that was the other side of the embassy. But, you know, we have some mysteries yet to solve. But the smuggling ring and all of that, as it pertains to the Cadopian Empire / Fabal / Alabast, is all over, and I don't think Agent Lang is going to hang out with us anymore, because he's taking care of Sheena and everything going on with her, so we're just kind of on our own now, to finish this out. So let's do that. Edgeworth and Francisca both just kind of... They have the same sort of posture going on here, and the tapping of the finger or hands or fingers or whatever. Everybody's just hanging out. It's midnight. Woohoo! So now we know who the Yatagarasu really was. Oh yeah, that too. That was also solved. The three pieces of the Yatagarasu. And yet there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapons cross country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Yeah, let's, This is a hefty case here. Let's, see what we have left. Okay, so we still got, of course, our badge, because we have the guide that shows the entries. We've got the statue that was smuggled over because, yeah, it was like the Babal statue was in Alabast, and the Alabast statue was in Babal. And Alabast actually has the real one. Of course, we got our information on the dead bodies and the knife that is also a key. There's the murder weapon that's talking about it's talking about the smuggling and pointing to Cochin, our victim. Counterfeit bills is still going on, so we still have some information on the smuggling. Cochin has requested Mask to Mask steal the statue. We got the flowers. We got the other statue, and this was the weapon that killed Mask to Mask the second. We've got our samurai spear, samurai dogs, which hasn't come into play yet, but I'm sure it's going to be important sometime. Oh yeah, this pick. And then knowledge about the fountain. Still this mysterious statue. This reorganizing of the evidence is good, because it's actually making me go through the evidence with you guys like I should be doing. The fires that took place, we got all that information. There were two. The wire was in the grandfather clock. We're still not sure about that. I have a feeling it might connect to that picture, like something being roped across or something. I don't know. The revolving fireplace wall. hair sticks with the dirt on the tips, which I thought connected kind of to the flowers. And then this is what Detective Bad gave us. Because this was the smuggling boss's card. And the Yatagarasu card was similar to it. And then this was supposedly the blood of CCU. This is the evidence. We can't watch it. Oh, maybe that's what Gumshoe is about to tell us here. Well, if it is, let's get on with it then. Hey, there's a piece of art here, sir. Now we can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave us. This piece of evidence from the KG8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. Let's know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us. Sure thing, sir! Is it the same one that we saw before? Like in the previous trial? This man, that's Manny Cochin. And he's holding a trump card. And he's also holding, is that like a screwdriver? Or the key? Is that the key? Or is it a knife? And he's holding a knife in his hand. It's a knife. This looks like footage from the security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident. Or I actually read the summary, I guess. And the crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building. At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow, someone was able to steal it and hide it from Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece of why someone would want to hide it. But it's a piece of evidence for a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to the case we're working on now, sir. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Wait, what was that? Huh? That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. This car. This is something we cannot overlook. Why is that, sir? Because the flag. It's the Cadopian flag.
Take that!
This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? Ah, Miss Von Carmen, Mr. Edgeworth, so you were here all this time. Ambassador Alba. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. It had nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot, Quirkus! You couldn't chase after a simple thief! Now then, let's get down to the real reason of why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you've apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Babalese police? Ambassador, we are so close, just a little more, and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That's true, however, as you said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastian soil. In which case, we are nothing but foreigners in their land. where our investigation ends. Shifu! We found Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Shifu, this way! Oh, Lang, you're back. Yo! How's your leg? Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. And don't take this the wrong way, I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Hey. Oh great, he's laughing. Ambassador Alba, I get it now, I really do. I'm very glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. No? The killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say this, that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Oh, interesting. Okay. He doesn't believe what she said about not having killed Cochin. So I wonder... Langzi says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damascus II's killer? I'll tell you who. It was you, Francisca von Karma. What? What? I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although that is actually quite... Yo! Hold your tongue and that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. Are you, like, trying to get back? Is this a bit of revenge here? Like, you accuse, like... No, I'm her subordinate, aren't I? She's not my subordinate right now. But still. It doesn't appear to be joking. Hey, sis. I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give a speech, he called you into his office, right? Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve those cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabasta and Laval, did you not?
Objection!
And where is your evidence that I am the killer? I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Them? Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? I have a thought. Because I mean, I don't trust Alba, especially with him being all like, hey, let's just like wait and not investigate. But now I'm starting to think, because Lang is smart. I mean, not that he hasn't accused people of murder where it wasn't right anyway, but I don't know. I have this suspicion. And I'm allowed to say this. I was always afraid of saying things that I was suspecting in case I was right and in case I was remembering things, but I do not remember this part of the case at all, and I don't remember the murderers or whatever. But so I feel safe in guessing. I feel safe in predicting without like spoiling. That Lang is pulling a fast one here because I think he knows that Alba won't let us investigate. Because he may be involved And so he's accusing someone else so that he can convince Alva to let him investigate. That's my prediction. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I'm not like remembering anything, so it's not like it's gonna be. If I turn out to be right, I don't think it's a spoiler. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, Lang has accused people that didn't do it before. We've had everything from. Well, no, Lang wasn't there for that one. I mean, we've been accused. We have been accused of things. Kay has been accused of things. Gumshoe has been accused of things. Now Francisca. Maggie Bird, of course, was accused. Not around with Lang, but it's just, it's just how the game plays out. So if I need to prove Francisca innocent with evidence and such, so be it, but I do not trust Alba. And I didn't trust him from the start. I didn't want to say anything in case, like, I was remembering things or something, but I don't remember this part of the case. Okay, I don't have much of a choice. Good, then let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset, not that I blame her. I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that.
Hold it!
If this is all a big show, he's acting very well. Agent Lang, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. Well played, Edgeworth. Guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabasta yet. If you let Kay in, then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Cummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is gonna get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well, but I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now, let's go. I mean, maybe? Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochran's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babal. The weapon that took his life was of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then the body of Namask II, Mr. Kashinau, was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was this Prima Duck statue, and that this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it. Sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off.
Objection!
Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you are saying? Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. And so, while people were distracted by the Adagarisu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire.
Objection!
Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Don't worry, I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that too. You have permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey now. Look, sis, I thought I already told you I'm not messing around here. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring. But Sheena certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He is right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. Francisca, you need to calm down. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it. What? But don't worry, I am taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damascus II. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damascus II is related to the smuggling ring, then it'll mean the end of our investigation. As long as I have no good counterargument to his hypothesis, and the best I can do is walk this thing tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Yes, let's. I'm starting to doubt my prediction. I don't know. Also, I had the other prediction that the fact that the samurai was able to walk through. Also, the infant is still missing, right? The iron infant? Larry lost track of that? What if inside it or something was something? I don't know. So the whole smuggling thing. He was pushing a little stroller sort of thing. It wasn't it was more like a cart. One of Alabasta knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin, and the murder weapon in the killing of Damascus II is Babal's prima duck statue. Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisco will remain a suspect. You got it, Mr. Prosecutor, so why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Was there another game where... Never mind. Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I've learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? Okay, I think my original prediction is true then. It's revenge. He is being vengeful. Because he does not keep a cool head. I don't know. By focusing too intensely on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lang Zi never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor. Who do you think you are speaking about Lang Zi's proverbs like that? Yeah, he still hates us. I just need his proverbs. Because my words are all you will need to see the truth. Alright, I am going to press everything.
Hold it!
I concur that this knife crossed over country lines. Good, but that's not the only thing it did. You mustn't forget about the other weapon. The knife was only one. Okay. Alright.
Hold it!
So you're saying that the prima duck statue was also brought over by Francisco? Like I told you before, that's the only way that makes sense.
Hold it!
And how exactly did she bring it over? I haven't figured that out yet. And that's a rather weak statement, considering how sure you are. Maybe, but there's one thing I do know for sure.
Hold it!
Impenetrable. I should hardly think so.
Knock him back!
You see the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all the barbed wire. The only way into either embassy is through the doors in the Theatrum Neutralis. So the only way for the knife and the prima duck statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors. Am I gonna do this? Am I gonna present that picture?
Hold it!
Also, she shouldn't have been able to hold, like, to touch the statue. So these are the two issues that I have with this, what do we call it? What are they calling it? We'll just call it the accusation. Was Francisca really the only person to have traveled between the two countries? According to the guards at both doors, she's the only one to go back and forth. Sis there was an Alabasta from the Yatagaris who showed. And then just before you guys found Mr. Cochin's body, she entered the ball. I think we can assume that's when she brought the knife into the ball.
Objection!
Then how'd she explain the prima duck statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves the killer must have also traveled across country lines. The only things to cross the border are the primitive statue and the knife. I should hardly think that those are the only two items, Agent Lang. Okay. Oh, the other statue. The other statue also passed by. The Ball's Prima Duck statue. Okay, so I want to present Alabast's Prima Duck statue.
Objection!
Agent Lang, those two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Oh? Damask II was killed with the Ball's Prima Duck statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's Prima Duck statue go? To a ball. Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. Guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only the assistant is the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabasta and the Ball is her. Is that really true? Is there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person. One who paid a visit to both sides of the wall.
Objection!
Is that really so, Agent Lang? What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. Edgeworth doesn't bluff. That's Phoenix's job. I checked out what the guards said, along with the security camera's footage. You're not gonna overturn my hypothesis that easily.
Objection!
But suppose there was some other way other than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. I pointed out it opened a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. Looks like you got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show you through a single piece of evidence. Yep, I am going to present that stupid picture. Fine then. Thank Lotta for this picture. She always gets the greatest pictures. She really does do an excellent job. It's too bad she doesn't get paid for her services. Let's see this piece of evidence that'll show me this other route. A piece of evidence will show us another way to move between the two countries. Or this piece of evidence.
Take that!
Agent Lang, I'm sure you are familiar with this unforgettable photo. Supernatural photo, like I said before. Humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't get start claiming that Sheena somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you said either. I say it again, it's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. But how can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? It's not humanly possible. Eureka. Very well. You'll have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry, trailed shadow is... Okay, so it's obviously evidence. Is it the statue? Are we going, like, back in the days of the circus? Where the statue, where the bust was the thing that flew? Oh my goodness. Because he just said it's not humanly possible. Good gracious, it's the... Which statue is it, though? It's the one that was the murder weapon, right? Like, did it just hit him in the head? I'm starting to think that it just hit him in the head. Like, it was sent across the way. Accidentally hit Damask. Oh, wait a second. Look at that flower. It looks like the guitar pick. Wait a second. That's important. That's going to come up later. Because we haven't quite gotten there yet. See? See the guitar pick? It looked just like it. Good gracious. Okay, I think I'm going to do it. Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the Grimduck statue replica. You can't be serious. The Yatagarasu, or rather Kusuyu dressed as ancient Shina, was inside Babal. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Mr. Prosecutor! You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air? And how exactly did she do that? He's literally burying his fangs in me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? Into his office. So just before the murder, Francisco's called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. What are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. Yeah, I'm starting to think my prediction was wrong. But I feel like I've seen that somewhere now. So now I am worried that it was like a spoiler thing, because I feel like I've seen that happen in a case or a game or a TV show, maybe? I don't know. If you know what it is, write it in the comments. If you know what it is. That is provided that it's not this. We'll see. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. Do you really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? How dare you! As I've said numerous times, there's absolutely no proof that I'm the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time, which is why I would like to hear about your movements in this room. Francisco, I feel that I still don't have enough information, which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. Alright, so what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements in this room until the murder occurred. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. But if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl no! As you wish. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian Embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way toward the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bed and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Francisca, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way that I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. As I said earlier, I'm So, guard duty. I thought your duty was to fact-find anything you could about the smuggling ring. Yes, that was my job. But upon hearing that the Yatagarasu had sent a calling card to the embassy, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy instead. That incident 7 years ago. Or have you forgotten what happened here back then? Anything related to that case we were involved in appears to be rather painful for me. It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself. It looks like you remember the case after all. Of course I do. I inspected every location, every possible escape route, and every aspect of the police's security detail. I did all that, then after that...
Hold it!
So you were at the theater as well? Yes, and I suppose you were also there as well, watching that stage show? Well, yes. Francisco was there. Well, after the show was over and I saw the Steel Samurai off...
Hold it!
Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation for even the speech? For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right? Yes, I suppose you're right. And in the end, the Yatagarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden, even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Who would have thought that she would use a shadow? Calm down, Francisca. She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself. Anyway, there was no one in the Rose Garden, and we were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter.
Hold it!
At that time, Damascus II's body had yet to be found in this room, is that correct? That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence. Criminal would say anything to get out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants. Ah, I can attest to that. I remember speaking with a lovely lady around that time here in my office. Alright then. Add that statement to your testimony and let's hear some details. So Ambassador Alba was in this room at that time, was he? That's gonna be important. What do we know about the flowers? Nothing that contradicts this, so let's press it. For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on that side. However, the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Is that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him, but fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself and was growing them with the utmost care, you know. Yes. The plants in this room, they are all like my children. The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully true. 2. All 4 of them are in full bloom. Miss Von Karma, what did you just say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully? What about that statement do you not understand? Do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is in the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well. There are 4 large passion flowers in full bloom in the flower box.
Objection!
Interesting. Francisca. For some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like that? Yeah, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir. Eek! All I've done is state what I saw. I have made not a single mistake in my testimony, and for this, I am still under suspicion for murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it's a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Well, let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that would become clear if we were to examine that flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. It's the hair sticks! They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. understand. I see holes. Do you see holes? This pasture's soil looks as though it had something removed from it. What are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clam up all of a sudden? I'm still here, waiting for an explanation, you know. Did you know, Agent Lang, flowers are best appreciated in silence? Looks like two things were pulled out of this flower box. This watering can has a rather robust design. Mr. Edgeworth, why are you telling us stuff we can clearly see for ourselves? Plus, if you keep wasting time talking about that, Ms. Von Karma's gonna get arrested. I gotta examine something else. Does it want me to deduce? Can I deduce? I can't deduce. I guess I'll just keep looking at the flowers. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they're actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports. Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only two in here for me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lies failed you. Miles Edgeworth, hurry up and shut this man up for me already. I suppose I would need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? I believe I have just the piece of evidence. Fire. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight. But I highly doubt it will last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence.
Take that!
Shina, who was supposedly in Babal the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. So what? Is it really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we've found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight. I love that animation. Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Albast, but somehow they wound up in Sheena's hand, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knight from the statue. Very well, then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal. How did these support sticks find their way to Babal, and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. He clearly knows how. Aha, so that's why. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. It's just another stick, isn't it? So it is. But the shape of the support sticks is what's important. When they are used with something in this room, that is when it all comes into focus. It has like a ring on it. Love this music, by the way. Edgeworth's theme, it's great. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. I think I know what it's saying. The object that completes the picture when used with the support sticks is... They're rather small for this, but okay. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting. So, tied the wire to it, shot it across the way, put the statue on, smuggled it over. I am. These hair sticks, or rather plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. They're very small, though. I've done it. I found a common thread that connects the two offices. This thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? It must be a common thread that ties all of these things together.
Knuckle back!
Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. And then we talk about the string, and then we deal with that. So Babal's statue was straight from the end of Garish's clothes, and then shot over here. Even if we fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the prima duck statues don't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? The prima duck statues didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The prima duck statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. You're a realist, actually part of his testimony? The statues didn't need wings to fly. How would you explain this? I'm almost looking forward to whatever fantastical explanation you come up with. I went to... This makes me afraid to present anything. I've been saying it's the wire this whole time. Come on now. But that incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo. And what an incredible scene it was. This photo was taken by a freelance photojournalist, right? Yes, so I hear. Not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not the ones who sell photos of spirits and giant creatures to tabloids. Yes, I know what you mean. I've seen those sorts of photos many a time in court. But there have been times when those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. If you'd ever stood in a court of law, you would know that that's entirely plausible. Ha! You really believe the stuff you're spewing right now. A courtroom certainly is a strange place if what you say is true. But there really is something odd about that photo, no matter how you look at it.
Hold it!
But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusions, it's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues. Yes, I know. Okay, there we go. Then what did the crossbow launch? Thank you. That's why you press everything, because you need to get to that point.
Objection!
Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to the arrow and then shot into Mr. Coach's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastion Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened, let's see how Alabaster prima duck statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babal's prima duck statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going in the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy up to the 5th floor of the Alabastion Embassy. How do you explain that? I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. They're trying to hint us the motion used behind this trick. What if perhaps you've yet to envision how it works in your head? Motion? What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's prima duck statue. Bungee action! I believe it was done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously. Simultaneously? Get real! The statues would collide somewhere along the way! Did I ever say there was only one line of wire between the two offices? If you shot an arrow with the two ends of the wire tied to it, the circular belt can be formed. Getting all mechanical here. Langsy says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Take into account the tension difference between the two wires. The top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Agent Lang, as you know, the Prima Doc statues are one-of-a-kind national treasure. In fact, the Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue. It would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Langsy says, howl. Oh! Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery conspirator set themselves up in two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down with one arrow. Was it Mask to Mask the Second? Was that her co-conspirator? Then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to the ball, where it was to be disposed of. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock, QED. This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer? Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor. The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said was what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis. For there's one more piece of evidence. One more. This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that'll turn your hypothesis into a fact? Let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. I believe that it is right here in this very room. Oh, right, we didn't cover that yet. I was just sitting here looking at it and thinking, oh yeah, this is how it happened. This is what made the circular belt transportation method possible. It's still circumstantial, I don't know why this is proof, but okay. Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to the trick are two pulleys. Precisely. Ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there's one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fan's made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. Oh! This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up the real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be somewhat good for knowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastion and Bubbly's offices, and that the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case... Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for its food. Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of a finger here in this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the full momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in. Headlong and head first! There's a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind is. Oh, is there now? Is it the videotape? Right, oh, wasn't, Ambassador Alba the ambassador of Cadopia before they split? And then and then Paleno was, brought in for Babal after they split? But why would I present that now? It has nothing to do with... Oh, because I'm trying to prove that it has something to do with smuggling. So the videotape would be it?
Take that!
don't think that's it. How long do you intend to keep it for me? The evidence isn't satisfying at all. Sorry, I was looking at... Stop being so picky with your food. The person who concocted the trick used to smuggle the statues. Should already have a piece of evidence that shows who that is. Oh, I'm being stupid. It's the note. Because he's the one that said to smuggle the statues. So I have to present it, no matter what the cost. I'm so sorry. That was dumb. Apologies. Apparently that's still done. Okay. Is it the flowers? Okay. Because that was part of the thing, that they needed to know how the flower stakes work. The smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow. Okay. Yes. That was the whole point. I thought that was already implied, therefore I did not present the flowers. But sure, okay. I guess that is the only way to present that he would know about it. Were plucked, as it were, from a flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big. But Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited the room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprits knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person has very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus it can only be you, Quercus Alba. And that's why I hesitated. Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Ah, boy. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there's one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? This one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick... Oh my gosh! The statue is hollow. The fake statue is hollow. It had something inside of it. What did it have inside it? I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. Make sure that I hit the right one. This one was used as a weapon, so the Bobbleese one is the one that I want.
Take that!
It's hollow, it has something inside of it. You want to examine that? Yes, for I believe that by examining it, we will finally have all of our answers. Langsy says items that become evidence should never have any part overlooked. All evidence related to this case are fine, don't need to be examined again. Hey, it would appear that I was mistaken. Agent Lang is correct. Most of the evidence have already undergone sense scrutiny. However, there's one piece that has only been partially checked. And that piece, which lies at the heart of the smuggling, is what I should present. Is it the other statue? Okay. I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Primadux statue for the fake wasn't a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. And who better to ask for that reason than the King Primadux himself? I see. Ambassador will be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. I don't like all the dots. Okay. I bet it opens or something. Okay, yeah. See, there's the handprint. Oh, this was the one that was used as a weapon, though. These are Mr. Cochin's fingerprints. The fact that they're on here suggests that the statue once belonged to the ball. So smuggled from a ball to Alabast. Oh yeah, okay, so this is the fake one. Why was there a need for them to smuggle it? This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike that it was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador. I suppose that's possible. Look at this area around the base of his neck. Looks like a gap. Hey, you're right! Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret? Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in the construction. What? Hurry up and open it, Miles! Alright, here goes. Wow, it really did open up! Are those the plates? I forgot that we were still missing the plates. Hey, what's this thing that fell out? I need a more thorough examination if it is required. What in the... is this... Hey! Is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills. Somehow, it appears that we've long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabast to begin with. Hoo boy. The Primaduck statue can only be handled by the ambassador of the Secretariat, and the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Sheena, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised a replica statue of Damask II and her statue to Damask II. Then, in order to frame the Steel Samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba, you're the leader of the smuggling ring. My country's a mess. And it's all because of you? You're the one who killed Damask II? Answer us. I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there is one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin.
Knuckle back!
Quit screwing around. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt onto a dead man. If there's one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real ringleader, Quercus Alba. It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang. Subjectivity. My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation. Logic and investigation. Only seconds ago, you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic any real weight, do you? Yeah, okay, my theory was incorrect. Unless... looks like you still don't get why I came back. Excuse me. You see, the reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target has been you. Oh, was my prediction correct? What? Agent Lang, I demand an explanation. Sorry, sis, I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. Oh my goodness, he was. You did? I knew this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for, so naturally, the occupant of the room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, I couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisca of the murder. Using Francisca as the bait, you were able to gain us entry into the most investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given me okay to poke around. So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening. I thank you. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor. But somehow, if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. The evidence detectives collect and combined... the evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be. Prosecutor, detective team, right? I don't know about that. But one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him. You're quite scary if you want to be, aren't you? Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me. Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you will have what is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring.
Objection!
I have it. It's a tape. It's a videotape. Don't be such a sore loser. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity. Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. I tell you, I knew nothing. Really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside the statue.
Objection!
You swapped the real statue that vested your country in the authority that... Wow. You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything. It doesn't make sense. Where doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense? He's really got us. He's turned the entire situation around against us. Proof that Interpol has been after, which points... Wow. I don't know what's wrong with me being able to read his sentences anymore. The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. We can somehow find that proof now. And we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? The trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence for a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a protector of the law cannot be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Oh, that's why I couldn't present it. Oh, hello, Mr. Von Karma.
Needless to say, we Von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, and by any means necessary.
You are not Von Karma. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. There has to be another way. I no longer follow the path of Manfred Von Karma. But I won't follow the path of Yadagaru. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is law and what is justice? And which path is the prosecutor supposed to follow? The choice is what I must make by my own hand, here and now. What in the world? Of course, why not make me decide? There's got to be another way. Right? Right? He doesn't want to... No. He does not want to... do it. He does not want to follow Von Karma. He does not want to follow the Yadagaru Steel. He wants to pursue truth. There has to be another way around it. I'm a prosecutor. I can't allow myself to use evidence such as these. Mr. Edgeworth, if you don't do something, Ambassador Alba is going to get away with it. I know, but...
Objection!
What are you holding back for? The only thing Von Karma should pursue is the perfect proof. If you really do have what it takes to complete our argument, then there's absolutely no reason not to use it.
Knuckle back!
Lang Zi says, the reason people judge people is because people are people. People weren't born to be chained to the law. Laws were born to protect the people. You're the only one here right now that can put this guy out to pasture. And that is the only way a second or third generation of Zangfa's people will be born. Can you really still hesitate knowing the fate of a nation rests in your hands? exists was set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law, too, crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this. Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen that before in my life. It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates. Oh, is that what it is? This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG-8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Mancochin. Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession? Because it was hand-delivered to me. By a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense, and let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader? I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given. What? This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG-8 incident. Yeah, I guess it's the whole thing, like, people that are above the law or whatever, so there's that limitation. So it's like, if he's above the law, you have to use this. I think Detective Bad said that to us. The KG-8 incident. The card and the video. These two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate. Very interesting, I must admit I'm very curious now. Very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence you've presented. The prey the Yatagarasu has been chasing all this time now stands before me. I can't allow this man who has had free rein for 10 long years to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. So what is this interesting thing that you wanted to show me? The trump card and the videotape. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. And this is where the real meaning of Detective Bad's words will be realized. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir! What you see here is security footage shot before the KG-8 murder occurred. From this footage, we know that the card is a directives card from the smuggling ring. This is the section that proves that the card was used to relay an order. The knife? No, it's the card, right? Yeah.
Take that!
As you can see, Mr. Cochin is holding the card in his right hand. I see. The killer is indeed holding a card with the exact same design on it. But that card and the one you have, just because they look the same, doesn't mean that they are, does it now? Oh, there's a very easy way for me to prove that they are, in fact, one and the same. All we have to do is simply take a look at this. According to Detective Bad, Ambassador Alba's directive card bears the mark of a three-legged raven. Or in other words, the Yatagarasu. I suppose this mark was the inspiration for their group's name, the Yatagarasu. There's also the blood here, because that's... A section of this text has been obscured by blood, but it's clear writing that it's Cadopian. According to Detective Bad, silent CCU is what is written here, along with the method to be used and where she lived. The intent displayed on this writing will not go unpunished. I don't know what else to... I think it's been made very clear. Okay, there we go. I tried to show the blood before, and then it was talking about the directives. Yes, the stark red blood. This is your proof. Proof that the orders on this card were played out in that terrible tragedy. The blood belonged to the victim of the KG-8 incident. With a bit of DNA testing, we can easily verify that as fact. If you have no objections, then I'd like for you to take a look at this next piece of footage. This card that passed by in the front of the victim's apartment building. It's an official Cadopian government card. What? Detective Gumshoe, could you please magnify the footage? Is that another director's card? In his pocket?
Take that!
The shape of this pocket and the director's card in it tells us that without a doubt this person in the car is Mr. Kochi. License plate on the car was also captured by the security camera. And with it, we can easily find out who was sitting in this car in the day 10 years ago.
Which is why I can say with confidence that you were riding in this car on that day. Ha. They always laugh. Oh. Wow. You've completely changed your demeanor.
You've done well, boy, to make it this far. However, your claim that I was riding in the car at the time is going to be mighty difficult to prove.
How so?
The Principality of Cadopia no longer exists. So naturally, all records from that time period also no longer exist.
That arrogance. What he really means is he's already erased all traces of them.
We're finished here, boy.
The only weapon I have left to me now is this piece of footage. What about that little glimmer that I saw earlier? This little shine here looks just like his badge that he's playing
Take
with.
that!
What the? Ambassador Alba.
Yes, what is it?
You were once an army man in the service of Cadopia. And it was you who made the many missions and you participated in successes, correct?
Why, this sudden backhanded praises, boy. Although, to be sure, the brilliant medals on my breast were awarded to me during the era of Cadopia. But now I am the only one who owns this particular medal.
In that case, the only person it could be who was sitting in this car is you.
How'd you figure that?
By the medal captured here in this footage. It's clearly the same exact medal as the one on your chest. Dude, I think your face is falling apart.
What?
This is how it will be, but I won't look back. This is the path that I've chosen. Even though I didn't choose it, I chose not to talk to him about it. But, you know, above the law and all that stuff. I don't know how we're gonna be able to get through here with this.
You've moved me with your devotion to this case, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why is he talking? Why is he taking such an arrogant stance with me?
The worst looking possible, isn't it? For the lot of you to have come this far, it looks like I just might lose our little game this time.
You might lose this game this time. You don't get another round, Mr. Ambassador.
Is that a fact? Very well, I've decided to confess and admit my guilt.
You're going to confess?
And I will accept whatever punishment that may come as a result.
What the?
Regarding the Damascus II murder, I admit it, I did it out of self-defense.
You're claiming it was justified self-defense.
Damascus II attacked me, and I felt that my life was in danger. If I hadn't done what I did, I might be the one you found dead instead of him.
What a pathetic performance.
I'm not giving you one.
Wow, you two really know how to laugh at inappropriate times. Thank you. Thank you. They always laugh. If you wish to claim it was justified self-defense, then we would need some evidence.
It's always the evidence with you, isn't it? But if that's what you require, I'll provide it. That man left a mark on me when he attacked.
What?
I don't particularly want to show it off, but this is proof that it was in self-defense. I'm an old man, and sometimes I don't pay enough attention when I should.
But Damascus II didn't have a single weapon on his body.
Hold on, it's nothing to get worked up over, because I hid the weapon.
You hid it?
I'm sorry, but as you know, a murder is a murder even if it is in self-defense, and I couldn't let it become public seeing as how I am an ambassador. This is the one you see, my special bonsai trimming shears.
Ugh, it's covered in blood.
I was trembling quite badly during our struggle, but that's when he grabbed the shears that were sitting on my office and attacked. So you see, it was an act of self-defense.
Is he right, Mr. Edgeworth? Since he has both a wound and the weapon that caused it, it's enough to declare it so. Good to know. No way!
Oh, which reminds me, I guess there's still one more accusation I need to resolve. Smuggling and counterfeiting. Unfortunately, all of that is my secretary's doing. I had no knowledge what was going on.
Knuckle back!
Stop spewing nonsense. You're trying to throw my investigation under the bus in your desperation. If you want to get real honest, everything in this case can be connected to you. The murder of Damas II was done in self-defense? In my trials, no man escapes the crime alive.
Perhaps so, but if you were my opponent in court. However, there is one very important fact that I must have read that last line wrong, that I think you may have forgotten.
And what is that? That's what you mean. That we can't use that evidence in court? Oh, extraterritoriality.
That's right! This embassy sits on what is effectively Alabastrian soil. Any trial that is to be held will be held in Alabast. Therefore, the crime I just admitted to will never be tried in your courts.
Agent Lang, what is Interpol's stance on this? Agents investigate, that's our job. Judgment of people who have confessed their crime, that's the court's job.
And I've already confessed to all my crimes, Agent Lang. Furthermore, by the very nature of my position, I have full extraterritorial rights. These rights are effective even on your country's soil. Therefore, no matter where a crime may take place, I will never stand trial in one of your courts.
That arrogance and your expression, that's nothing like the face of someone who's ready to accept the consequences. Don't tell me you have your own country's judicial system eating right out of your hands.
These crimes you all speak so seriously of. To me, this has all been nothing more than a game. You may chase me out of this embassy with your accusations, but it's no big deal. Alabast has numerous other embassies in other countries around the world. All you would accomplish is you would change the backdrop of our little game.
Assume there's the protection that
extraterritoriality provides him.
This is why he's one of those who are not to be brought to court.
You see now, don't you? I live in a whole different world than you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and fetch your eviction papers.
Is there nothing we can do?
There's nothing we can do right now. Man, I was really doubting whether I was right or not with my prediction. And I'm still wondering, I am still doubting whether I remembered it. But I don't remember it. Maybe just remembered the idea of it. Maybe I have seen it before in a different medium. If that is the case, I'd be curious to know what it was, because I don't remember. And if you know, or you've seen anything like that before, put it in the comments. Because I guess I should be, like, saying stuff like that. Like, commenting and subscribing and all that stuff. Anyway, looks like it's not over yet. I guess we have yet to figure out how to get him to justice. We know the truth. Everything has been made clear. I guess we still don't know who killed Cochin, if it was in fact not Sheena. Because I'm really believing that she didn't do it, but I couldn't possibly think of who did then. I don't know. Maybe it was just Sheena. Maybe she was lying. I have no idea. But possibility, maybe talking to Sheena. Ooh, I wonder if we're going to talk to Sheena and get him, like, get some evidence from her testimony that he is, a part of all this. I don't know. Because he's not admitting to the smuggling. So, that'd be interesting. Yeah. But we've pointed to everything, so I don't know how much, I don't know what we can do. It's at that point where, I mean, we feel as desperate and hopeless as the characters do. It's like, we cannot do anything to
bring him to justice. He is above the law, and the whole extraterritoriality. Wow, I've not been able to say that word. But yeah, I guess that's all in due time. So we'll keep on keeping on here next time, and I will talk to you guys then.